Hi, Patty Starka here from Westford Cat, and I have with me Westford Health Director Jeff Stevens. How are you, Jeff?
Good today, Patty. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Haven't seen you in a while, so this is
I know
great.
it.
Thanks a lot for taking the time. So I thought that since there have been revised orders from Governor Baker starting on Friday, November 6th, we could talk a little bit about what that means and how it affects Westford and Westford businesses. So
Sure, I'd be more than happy to.
awesome, awesome. So there's been a revised order about face masks or face coverings. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it's changed?
Sure. So what's happened right now with face coverings is before the face coverings order was that you would wear a face covering if you could not socially distance uh, by 6 feet. Now the revised order is requiring everyone to wear a face covering or mask all of the time that you're outside. So if you leave your house and you go on to the public ways, you now are technically required to have a face mask on. If you walk down the street, if you jog, if you ride your bike, if you go to the grocery store, if you go to any place where the public is invited, which includes public parks and playgrounds, you'll need to be in a mask, according to the current order.
Who enforces this?
Well, that order can be enforced by both the police and the health department, uh, state police as well, and Department of Public Health and Department of Labor and Standards. The primary enforcer of this will be the health department. However, admittedly, I will say running around to see who's got a mask on the streets will be a challenge, but we're asking everybody to simply respect the order, do the best you can with the information, and make sure that you're trying to follow it. I mean, we know that the numbers are dumping in town. We know the numbers are jumping up in the state. We can see that in the news every morning. So any little bit we can help do our part to help reduce the spread is what we need to do.
And carpooling.
So technically, if you're in your own car by yourself, you do not need to wear a mask. However, if you use a ride sharing service or you carpool, you do need to have a mask on when you're in that car.
Now, some of the, there's a 10 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Shutdown. You're not supposed to be out between those hours in Massachusetts anymore. How does that work?
So what that is it's a stay-at-home advisory.
Okay.
And in that stay-at-home advisory, they're asking people to be home at 10 and stay there till 5 in the morning. However, within that advisory, there's some things that you can do if you need to go buy food, if you need to go to the pharmacy, if you need to pick up takeout, if you have an errand that you need to run in retail, you're able to do those things. The order is generally designed towards restaurants and places where people can gather later at night. So that is why the advisory is now in place. Liquor stores, package stores, restaurants are now required to close by 9:30, doing their last calls, and every patron needs to be out of there by 10.
There's also a change in the number of people that you can have in your household or in your home
Yes,
at any time. But people outside of your household, is that what it is?
it's people outside of your household.
Okay.
If you have a household full of 12 people and they're all living there, well, they can all stay. They're not required to head out. But what is really required with the new gatherings order, the revised gathering order says a person can have 10 people inside and 25 people outside. All people need to be able to maintain a 6-foot distance from each other, and everyone has to have a mask on at all times. However, gatherings in general are not recommended.
Gyms have a sort of different rule or situation.
So it's not necessarily gyms, but a lot of people like to work out and exercise. So I just happen to use this as an example. What basically that particular example means is if you go to the gym and your gym allows people to not wear a face mask while doing strenuous activity, whether it be running on the treadmill or biking hard, if you're 14 feet away from somebody, you may be allowed to take your mask off. Some gyms are allowing that to happen. Others are requiring a mask at all times. at that point, it becomes a local business decision on what they want to do.
So are there any other changes as of November 6th that people should know about?
Right now, those are the major biggies that really change. And what's important to know is whatever the guidance may be for the specific sector that you're concerned about, whether it be outdoor activities, golf activities, things like that, there are sector-specific guidelines that everyone has to follow. And those guidelines will take over in place of the mask order where appropriate. So if your guidance says that you're allowed to remove your mask in a certain situation, the sector-specific guidance will be the one that answers that question on what you can and can't do. If there is no sector-specific guidance, you would need to have a mask on at all times.
Mask.gov is a wonderful resource if people want more information. They can also give you a call at the health department. What's your number, Jeff?
The health department number is 978-692-5509.
And Jay Stevens at westfordma.gov is another way
Correct.
to reach you.
Yes.
Awesome.
And if we don't have the answer right there, we will find it. We often reach out to the state if there's some confusion on what guidance means. There are so many guidance documents and they change on a regular basis. So knowing them all cold is difficult, but my staff is very good at keeping up on what all that guidance means for each sector that they're concerned with. And if there's something we don't know, we go to the state and get the answer. Typically we have it back within a day or so.
Yeah, you guys are really doing a great job over there. Thanks a lot for taking the time. I know you're busy. Just stay safe out there, Jeff, okay?
Doing the best we can. And hey, one other thing that we heard today on the national news is there appears to be a vaccine that is close to ready. And we're now hoping that we're in the final stretch of when we can see some of these orders be rescinded. But until such time that a vaccine is ready to go, we have to remember that we're still dealing with the virus right now, and it is still dangerous, even though there is a vaccine that could be ready to be distributed by the end of the month or the end of December. So we need to stay vigilant, even if we can see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Sound advice, Jeff. So
Thanks, Patty.
We'll check in again as things continue to change.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Take care.
Thanks, Patty.
For Westford Cat, I'm Patty Stocker.